What's going on, people? Welcome back to Curtis Shaw TV, back with another transfer talk video. It's been a long window, long January window, man. We've been linked with a lot of players throughout this window. And the main question I wanted to ask really was, has it been smart business by Arsenal, or is it typical cheap business by Arsenal? Not wanting to spend big money. Looking at the window in general, I mean, the major news really is Man United signing Igalo, which is just a crazy bit of business. I can't imagine. He's 30 years old now. I think he's got 15 goals in 55 games for Watford. I mean, that just tells you what this transfer window has been about. It's been a poor window overall in terms of excitement. But Arsenal, have we done decent business? I mean, in a market that's difficult unless you're willing to spend big money. I think the biggest signing was Bruno Fernandes, but Pablo Mari, I'm hoping that we've unearthed a bit of a gem there because, he hasn't really had an opportunity at the top level in England. Obviously, Manchester City signed him, loaned him out, and then sold him to Brazil. He was named the best centre back in South America, and was named in the team of the year in Brazil. And now he's coming to the Premier League, so he should be hungry. He should have the bit between his teeth that, look, I want to prove to people that I can make it in a major European league. And, let's see what happens with him. And then obviously Cedric Suarez, 28, experienced right back, Portuguese international. He's cheap, and he's going to offer something, some competition to Bellerin, which I think as well as Ainsley Maitland-Niles has done at times. I think you look at like the Europa League final. Hazard exposed him in that game. He showed a little bit of naivety at times, which is understandable. He's not a natural right back. So these two deals are not bad under the circumstances. Look, I would have loved to have seen Kroenke pull the checkbook out, new manager. There's 50 or 60 million. Go and get us a top quality centre back. But he hasn't, and unfortunately, we're stuck with this owner at the moment. But that's a whole other question. Look at your comments. Quick big up everyone in the live chat. Bert Sade said, "Yes, Curtis, what's happening, bro? In the summer, I would love to see us go for proven Premier League players. Take the best from the rest. I want Dunk, Decore, Ruben Neves, and Grealish. Good players there, man. Dunk, Ruben Neves, Grealish, Decore, all good players." Charlie Arsenal says, "Big up to you, Curtis. Stay safe. Respect, Charlie." Alex Hall says, "Hey, Curtis, big up." Andrew Vicario, "You can look at it as necessary backup for a makeshift defence or as the board being incompetent if we don't do any big deals in the summer." And that's it. The summer will show whether this was smart business or cheap business. If we don't spend big in the summer, then we know it's just pure incompetence. The club have got no ambition. If they go big in the summer, then maybe, we know it was a difficult market and now they're ready to go big. Junar Plant-Based says, "Big up Curtis, Knotsman online. Respect, man. Always shout out there, Knotsman. Never forget where I come from, Aussie Gooner, Big C in the building. How are you, my guy? What are your thoughts on Phillips from Leeds? Personally, I rate him a lot. I think we should sign him in the summer. Haven't seen a lot of him. Obviously, against Leeds, there were a few impressive players there. But Leeds might get promoted, of course. They're in a good position at the moment. So let's see how they end up. Rat with a Blem said, "Ollie said he wanted someone breaking their nose for a goal. Guessing because he's a United fan since day. For 6 months, it's the best they can get." I mean, surely they could have got someone better than Igalo, man. There were rumours that Mertens was available, maybe Cavani. Would they not have gone for them? I don't know. But Igalo's a strange one. I'm an Arsenal fan, you know that. But even as a fan of a different team, I'm looking at Igalo going, how the hell is he getting a move to Man United? He's not good enough. He might nick a few goals for them, to be fair. He was a half-decent finisher at Watford. But there's no way he should be getting a Man United move. It just shows the standard of football nowadays, how it's fallen. The King says, "Yo, big up Wilson." Il Juan said, "Yo, Curtis, big up Wilson." Alex Orr, "We were never going to spend big money this window, just squad players to patch us up to compete in Europe." Probably a good point, but you've always got to hope for more. Coach Jordash, "Hi Curtis, how's the week been? Very decent business. Bergwijn, best signing. Wait and see him. And Son, pretty good. Ad Fernandez, Spurs had a better window than us. Plus Lo Celso for decent money. I mean, Lo Celso, I'm not sure how good he is really. I haven't been that impressed with him. Bergwijn, or is that how you pronounce his name? Apparently, he's a good player from Holland. So it'll be interesting to see how they get on. Nikos Dimitri, big up Curtis. Do you rate John Fleck? Been impressed with him this season. Having a good season for Sheffield United. Derek Williams, smart business, bro. It doesn't matter, Curtis. All you care about is spending big money on players. Look at Martinelli. He's £6 million and he's doing bits. So, mate, isn't about big money sometimes. But as you say, Derek Williams, it's sometimes. Sometimes you can pick up a bargain for cheap, and I respect that. You know, your Martinellis and that. But sometimes spending big money gets you a Virgil van Dijk, gets you an Alisson. So you can't always justify that all the best signings are cheap. It's a flip of a coin at the end of the day. So I respect your point, but you know, it's difficult to say that every big signing doesn't have to cost a lot of money. Big up Zayn Miasi with a super chat. Respect Zayn. He says, Curtis, what do you think of this Igloo guy going United? Is he a B-Tech Kanu? Listen, mate, Igalo is a bit of a poacher. I don't put him on Kanu's level. And, you know, if I was a Man United fan, I'd be disappointed with that signing. But, you know, I don't know. It's a strange one. It could be the Kim Kallstrom, you know. We've all been there. Berkshire, hate the Spuds. Levy has done good business and backed Jose. Bergwijn is cold, to be fair. Lo Celso hitting form and Jedson decent. Kroenke must back Arteta big in the summer. 120 million net spend minimum. He's going to have to, mate. He's going to have to. And as I said, if he doesn't, the fans have to start talking with their feet, because this ain't acceptable. Leave the stadium empty because we're 10th in the league. We need new players. Interesting that David Ornstein says that Arsenal tried to sign another player after Cedric Suarez today. He said there was only a tiny chance of another deal happening. Arsenal looked at it but weren't able to get it done. I'm told it wasn't Thomas Lemar. So who was that? You know, that's interesting. Who were Arsenal trying to get? Very interesting. Man said, I would have got Ziyech as well. Very difficult in this window. I think in the summer could be possible. Al Haji Jajite says, good evening, Curtis. Sorry if I've said your second name wrong there, mate. Marco Souza says, evening, Curtis. You all right, bro? Yeah, I'm all right. Hope you're all okay. Big up everyone supporting in the live chat. Keep subscribing to the channel. We're on the road to 10K by the end of the season. Respect for everyone for your support. Nikos Dimitri, man, we should do something in the summer with this effing Kroenke. It's up to us to save our club. I'm Greek and I love this club as if I'm English. First of all, mate, as far as I'm concerned, it doesn't matter where you live in the world. If you support Arsenal, that's what brings us all together. All this, if you're English and you've been watching Arsenal for 30 years, that doesn't mean anything. You can live in the other side of the world, or you can live across the road from the stadium. If you support the club and you've got their best interests at heart, that's what makes us fans. Big up Zayn again with a super chat. He said, Curtis, I made a joke on the United stand that this guy plays football as well as Eddie Murphy's characters from Coming to America, and people said it was racist. Oh, wow. I mean, obviously, I never saw how you said the joke, but it doesn't sound anything racist. But, you know, people are very sensitive nowadays, man. I mean, Brexit's coming up, and we're leaving the European Union tonight. I mean, let's keep it moving, man. Let's concentrate on more positive things. Arsenal, you know, we're on the rebound. You know, Arteta, let's hope he can bring us back to greatness. Alex Hall, absolutely. I'm from Brisbane, Australia. We are all Gooners, one big family, brother. Yeah, that's how I see it, man. Unity, togetherness. Too much arguing with Arsenal fans. It's something I don't like. There's not enough collectiveness with Arsenal fans, man. You know, you look at teams like Liverpool, look at their fan base, how together they are. Number one, they forced the owners out of the club. They knew things were not being run properly. They came together and got the owners out. And they, you know, you see that Anfield is like the 12th man for them a lot of the time. Arsenal fans, they don't allow you to have an opinion. If your opinion is different to theirs, you're an idiot as far as they're concerned. Football is a game of opinions. This is what I want this channel to be about. You don't always have to agree with my opinion. You tell me your opinion. Constructive criticism is fine. We'll have a discussion. That's what football fan channel should be about. And being Arsenal fans, man, let's stick together, carry the club forward, see what we can get this season. And if these owners aren't moving properly in the summer, we make moves together, man. That's what it has to be. King Solomon says, Curtis, we should have got Daniel Malan from PSV as a natural goal scorer. We have missed out on Bergwijn to Spurs. We shouldn't miss Malin, who would replace Aubameyang or Lacazette in the summer. I haven't seen much of him. I've seen a few highlights of him on YouTube. He does look lively, to be fair. Let me know a bit more about him. I'm going to try and look up a little bit more on him, but I'll try and find out. Coro77, I think we should sign an attacking creative mid in Ozil's position. I would love to get Grealish. Totally agree. I would definitely sign Grealish in the summer. He also put the picture up saying the Emirates is his favourite stadium in the country. Big up Zayn Miasi with a super chat again. He says, Curtis, I think our owners should be quarantined for ruining our club. Listen, Zayn, these owners are absolute clowns, mate. They're clearly not ambitious. Arsenal is a cash cow to them. They're building a £5 billion football stadium in America, right, for one of their franchises over there. And clearly they take money out of Arsenal and provide for the other clubs. It's a joke, mate. I agree with you, Zane. We've got clueless owners. The club's interests are not best at heart. How come when we built a new stadium, every year we had to sell a star player? Tottenham have built a new stadium that costs more than ours, and I haven't seen them sell anyone really. Ericsson, but I think he would have gone anyway. And they've still invested in other players. Silent Stan, mate. He hasn't got the ambition we need. Wilson Ilhan says, Silent Stan is a bloody fraud. Only cares about money over trophies, which is an absolute disgrace. He shouldn't be owning this club, mate. I'm sorry, and I agree with you. The guy's a fraud. Kieran King, Liverpool splashed in the right areas and sprinkled 10 to 20 million pound players around them to create a solid and well-drilled team. We need to spend more wisely. Good point, because, the spine of their team, they've spent money, Alisson 60 mil, Van Dijk 75 mil, Fabinho 45 mil, Firmino over 30 mil. But then you can sprinkle your Robertson, I think he was 10 million, and your Henderson 20 million, Wijnaldum 20 million. And that's how you can get away with it. So a lot of people are going, the business is smart that we've done. Not every player who costs a lot of money is necessarily effective to the price that they've been bought for. But you do need some proven quality, and you have to spend wisely. Obviously, we spent 35 million on Xhaka, on Mustafi, on people like that who haven't lived up to expectation. Let's be honest. Nicolas Pepe, he's a player I like. He's got talent. But at the moment, 72 million price tag, he hasn't lived up to it. Let's be real. Giannis Middleton, did you hear about Aubameyang calling Barcelona? I don't know for certain. I think Barcelona inquired about taking him on loan with an obligation to buy him in the summer, and Arsenal knocked them back quickly. Look, let's be realistic, man. I'm a big fan of Aubameyang. He's probably my favourite Arsenal player. But if Barcelona come in for him, his head's going to turn. And I can't blame him, to be honest. But I hope he does obviously sign a new contract and stay at Arsenal. Kartik Joshi, Nicolas Pepe has not peaked yet. He is only 24. Give him time. Yeah, I hear that. New league, new language, different style. It's difficult coming into a team that also isn't playing well. Let's be honest. If Arsenal were beating teams left, right and centre, we'd probably see a better Pepe. So, yeah, I do need to be a little bit more patient with him, all of us, to be honest. But, yeah, I want to see more from him. Tuan Ngoyan says, hey, Curtis, great stream. Arsenal strategy seems cheap, but I like it. Everyone's saying we are shopping at Primark, but Arsenal and Arteta is shopping in Primani, Guendouzi and Martinelli. Yeah, we're finding the odd bargain. So let's hope that continues with the players we've signed in this window. As I said, Pablo Mari is the one that I'm looking at and hoping we unearth a gem. Maybe him and David Luiz, a little partnership. Obviously, Saliba coming in the summer, who has been in good form since coming back from injury at Saint Etienne. If you've had a chance or not, go and have a look at his performance the other day against Monaco. And obviously, they had Ben Yedder up front, who's a decent striker. He looks a real player. Marco Souza said, Lacazette is the French McGoldrick. Doesn't score but works hard. That's harsh, man. I'm actually friends with David McGoldrick, who plays for Sheffield United. He's actually, amazingly, for a striker who's not scoring, he's having a good season. But he plays a bit deeper anyway. Look, Lacazette, it's a crazy one. I have two thoughts about Lacazette. On one hand, I say to myself, you know, doesn't score enough goals, not enough goal threat. We paid over 50 million for him. He's not really scoring more than what Giroud was scoring. But then on the other side, I say his work rate is superb. His link-up play is quality. He's committed to the cause. I think he helps players around him. If only he scored more goals, he would be such a good player, Lacazette. But how long do we persist with it? This is his third season. He's struggling at the moment in front of goal. He needs to turn his form around quickly, Lacazette, if he's going to stay at the club long term, because his contract's running out as well, and the club will have difficult decisions as to do they extend it or do they move him on. What do you guys think about Lacazette? Do you move him on and bring in someone else, or do you stick with him? Would you extend his contract? I mean, I hear he's on around 150 grand a week, so you're going to go to at least 200 grand a week to extend his contract. Would you give him that? It'll be interesting. Nikos Dimitri D-rate Kai Havertz from Leverkusen, very good player who cost a lot. Jake said an Ake for 50 million or no. I would look for others first, but he would definitely be on the list. I do rate Nathan Ake. Anish Thomas, the only good thing about this window is that we brought in Premier League talent. Murray was in City's bench. I'm not totally sure. Did Murray actually even get on the bench for Man City? I know for a fact he trained a little bit there pre-season, and then they loaned him out 3 times. Let me know. I don't know if he went on loan or not. Let's have a look. Kartik Joshi, Lacazette is taking too much time to shoot, which means he lacks confidence because he wants to get it absolutely right. Spot on. As a striker, when you're not confident, you overthink, you have an extra touch. When it's flowing, look at Aubameyang, he just slots things in. Janice Middleton, why did Aubameyang say all that BS about loving the club? I mean, he stayed at the club, so I'm assuming he does love the club, at least to a certain point anyway. Anish Thomas, I think we need to cash in on anyone who is signing a new contract, who isn't signing a new contract, I'm assuming you're saying, in the summer. So yeah, if you don't sign a new deal, move them on, I agree. Big up Zayn Miyasi in the super chat, we keep Lacazette. As I said, for me, it depends on the rest of the season. If he can finish the season strong, extend the contract. If he doesn't, then maybe we look at offers. But he is a good player. And I think we need to sell some of the weaker players first. For me, I would be selling your Mustafis. I would still sell Xhaka. I would still sell Mesut Ozil. I would sell Mkhitaryan. I'm reading today that Besiktas chief executive saying that they don't want El Neni on a permanent. They're sending him back at the end of the season, which is not a surprise. The Revanite said, Curtis, as a Liverpool fan, I don't get why so many of your fans are so eager to hang on to average players. I don't get the Ozil and Xhaka hype. Spot on, mate. Even as a Liverpool fan, there's too much connection with players who aren't justifying it. Mesut Ozil, okay, 5 years ago he was a very good player. Right now, he's not that good. Whether he's got talent, it's about what you produce on a pitch. It's not about how good you are. It's about what you can give the team. 1 assist, no goals, not good enough. 350k a week. That money would be better invested elsewhere. Move him on. Granit Xhaka's been at the club, 4 seasons? He's not good enough. We've seen he's not good enough. He gives you a few good games, yeah, but you know the mistakes in him where he'll give the ball away. He'll get sent off. He's too slow on the ball. And we need to get away from these players. The ambition level of the fans needs to be lifted. I think all these years of mediocrity has taken something away from some Arsenal fans' mentality and ambition. If we're going to be a big club, we have to act like a big club. And that means getting rid of players who aren't good enough. And saying, Ozil, yeah, he was great, but your time's up, mate. We've got to move you on. Mohammed Khan, sell Mustafi, Ozil, Mkhitaryan, El Neni, Socrates, Luiz. Get rid of these players. Maybe holding Xhaka is just hanging on there. I would personally sell Xhaka as well. I think David Luiz will stay next season. He's got a year left, I believe, on his deal. And I think David Luiz has been our best centre back this season. For me, not ideal, but I think you need to keep one or two experienced players there as squad players. Holding's got a lot to do. He's looked poor since he's come back from injury, but the injury was a major one. Zayn Miasi, big up Zayn with a super chat. Always appreciate your support, mate. Did you see Ty went for a bite with Arteta for Spanish tapas? They are best mates now. I don't know if you're on the wind up here or what, Zayn. It wouldn't surprise me, because Ty always seems to meet up with the manager somehow. I remember he always used to see Wenger after the games. Big up Ty, man, respect. Anish Thomas says Grealish is overrated. Not for me, mate. I think he's quality, and I think he could definitely play for one of the big six. Marco Sousa says, unpopular opinion, but Walcott wasn't as bad as everyone makes. He was actually effective during his time. We need to respect his name a bit more. He was just so frustrating to watch, mate, honestly. He did get goals. He had a few periods in time where he scored a lot, but he was so, frustrating, and there were certain games he was clueless on the ball. But his goal record speaks for itself, man. Walcott did get numbers, especially for a wide player. Not many wingers were scoring goals like that at Arsenal, apart from maybe like Alexis Sanchez, who's obviously world class. Kartik Joshi, Xhaka was a 35 mil buy. Sometimes I wonder what was the long-term vision in buying him from the then management. Arteta has utilised him the best so far. I mean, it's incredible. Arsenal apparently turned down, N'Golo Kante to sign Granit Xhaka. And I read that the long-term thinking was that he was a ball winner and could also play on the ball. They didn't think Kante was as good on the ball as Xhaka. So they went for him. I mean, Kante ends up becoming one of the best defensive midfielders in the world. While Xhaka, well, I don't know what he is. He's an average player, in my opinion. John B said, Laka is poor. We bought him to score goals. Guy scored 12 league goals last season. Whew, harsh words, man. I mean, he got player of the season last year. I think he did more last year than score goals. But I did say last year, for me, Lacazette should have scored 20 league goals. He had enough chances, and, he's got to score more. And this is the Premier League. I remember Mourinho said, he didn't sign him at Man United because he questioned his, sustainability. Could he do it in big games over and over again in the Premier League? The Prem is the hardest league to produce every week because even the bottom teams are difficult to play against. The mid-table teams are tough. Bob Marley 420 says, what's up, Curtis? Just finished revising. Big up, Bob Marley 420, man. Good luck with your revision. Everything's good here. Mr. Ixo123, if you buy cheap, you buy twice. Yeah, man, it's a true saying. But as someone said, Martinelli was cheap and fairly unknown, and he's, becoming a bit of a revelation at the moment. So not every time, but yeah, sometimes you definitely need to spend big. The Revenite says, Curtis, I'm glad you have some sense. Most Arsenal fans just say I don't understand football because I don't see what Ozil does. Listen, mate, a lot of people use that as an excuse for Ozil. Oh, if you don't see what Mesut Ozil does, you don't understand football. Look, a lot of us understand football, and Mesut Ozil has been a talented player at times, still good player at times, but for Arsenal, for where we are now, can we afford to have a guy who generally floats around in the number 10 role, but doesn't hurt the opposition enough? Saying he works hard is not enough. Working hard in football should be a minimum. I played football professionally. I was never complimented for working hard. Working hard is the bare minimum expectation. But times have changed. Custard Berry Tart, big up, great name with the super chat there, says, hold on, sorry, it's gone off the screen. Let's have a look. Says, I think this is good business, Curtis, considering the budget. These short-term fixes give me hope for big things in the summer. Big up for the super chat. And listen, I'm trying to be an optimist, so I agree. But something deep down tells me that the Kroenkes, we just can't trust them. They could still rip us off in the summer. Truth 884, I think that Lacazette 12 league goals is a dumb reason. Firmino doesn't score 20 league goals and no one slates him. But the difference is, Firmino was never a 20 goal a season striker. He was an attacking midfielder actually in Germany. So Liverpool never signed Firmino to score 20 goals. Lacazette was scoring 20 or 30 goals a season in France. So we signed him for that role. He's a natural number 9. So effectively comparing him to Firmino, that's not the role that he plays. You know, he has ended up playing in that role because I think he struggles when he plays number 9 up against the centre backs. So I get your point, but I don't necessarily agree. And I think Firmino is more effective in that role than Lacazette. Just my opinion. Bob Marley 420, we should try Lacquer in the 10. I agree. I would try him there. I've said that a few times as well. Ed Reynolds says Rob Holding will come good. Give him time coming back from a big injury. I hope so. I hope you're right. Ala Vangi says, have to be real. Lacquer out. He's stunting the growth of Pepe. We need Martinelli, Aubameyang and Pepe up front. Harsh words. I think that is our best front three at the moment, though. Joel McSween, sell Lacquer and Ozil, bring in Zaha, Ziyech and Grealish will be frightening in attack. More balance to the team. See, I would only sign Ziyech or Grealish, not necessarily both. Zaha, I've said a number of times, I would love to sign him. Tuan and Goyen, Curtis, it's very possible El Neni will come back and get a clean sheet at Arsenal. Arteta will utilise El Neni and make him quality. That's how much I trust Arteta's style of management. I mean, wow, we have to be a magician to get something out of El Neni. I really don't rate that guy. Seen the news today that Besiktas don't want him, so they're sending him back. Let's hope we can sell him in the summer. Lee Deaton says, big up yourself, Curtis. In the summer, sell Lacquer and Aubameyang, get Ziyech and Zaha, or Zaha and Grealish. I don't think we can afford to sell Lacquer and Aubameyang. I think we need to keep at least one of them. But I get your point. Marco Sousa, Danny Ings has more goals already this season than Lacquer in the whole of last season. Big L. Whew, harsh, man. Harsh. As I said, I rate Lacquer as a footballer. As a goal scorer, he's got to do more. But the question is, can he do more? Can he score 20 goals in the Prem in a league season? I'm not sure. Omar Mohammed, you can see what Arteta is doing and it's working. Would be good for a Marquee signing, but not many teams have got anyone. Yeah, I mean, there's such a lack of top quality players out there that are available. Bert Chardet said, Curtis, just curious, name me your top 3 players in the Premier League currently. My 3 favourite players in the Premier League, I would go Sadio Mane at Liverpool. I think he's outstanding. I just think he's a brilliant footballer. I would also go Kevin De Bruyne. I think he's the best midfielder in the Premier League. And my third one, I'll go for Arsenal player, man. I'll go for the boy Aubameyang. That's my boy at Arsenal. So I go Mane, De Bruyne, and Aubameyang. They're the 3 that I like. I do like Marcus Rashford as well. I think he's a superb player. But the injury has really held him back when I think he was going to have a great season. Alex Hall says, agreed. Yeah, man, good players there. Bob Marley 420. Pablo Mari is the first left-footed centre-back we've signed since 2009. Yeah, who was that? Was that Mikel Silvestre, or was that, I know we signed Vermaelen as well. I can't remember what year we signed him. Tom McGurn, until the Cronkies are forced out, Arsenal will never compete for major honours. Yeah, I mean, it's difficult to disagree with you, mate. Mr. Ixer123, I fully agree. Sometimes you might find a gem, but when it comes to your key areas of improvement, you need to show the money a bit, especially if it instantly improves your team. Oh, there you go. D Solo 2009 says, salute Curtis, big up, man, respect. Big up everyone in the live chat right now. Big up everyone who watches after. The transfer window is closed now, so that's it. By the way, Arsenal will not be signing anyone else. As I said, for the headline, was this smart business or was this cheap business? What do you think? Bob Marley 420 says, we need that rich Nigerian guy to take over. I mean, we need somebody to take over. I need someone who's got the best interests at heart of the football club. D Solo 2009, I believe in Arteta and I trust him. I do as well. But I don't trust the owner, and a manager needs an owner to make his job easier. Tom McGurm said, Man United have signed Igalo from China, desperate times. Can you imagine the meltdown Arsenal fans would have had if we signed Igalo from China? 30 years old, 15 goals in 55 Premier League games. I mean, wow. Um, Christopher Noble said, This is smart business, clever signings. D Solo 2009, we can't just look for expensive signings all the time. Yeah, I get your point. AR Music, give Lacazette time. He's not necessarily playing bad. Give him a full season under Arteta. He will score 20 plus goals in the Prem if he's not injured, of course. I hope so, mate. I hope so, because he's in his third season now. How much time do you get in football to prove yourself? Kieran King, how much do we miss Cazorla right now? I mean, Cazorla was a magician, one of the best centre midfield ball players I've seen at the club, along with Cesc Fabregas. We haven't got anybody at the club who's even a patch on Santi or Fabregas on the ball. Ed Reynolds said, I'm laughing at Man U. Oh, wow. But then we got to take care of our own business, man. We're below them in the table. Let's deal with ourselves. Look, I think Man United is a poor signing at the end of the day in Igalo, but, we're below them in the table. Who are we to laugh at them right now? Custard Berry Tart, what a great name, by the way, as I said before. Big up for the super chat, always appreciated. Said, I actually think Arteta can get everyone at this club singing off the same hymn sheet. He has got something great about him for me. He's definitely got a lot more presence than I thought. I didn't expect him to have that managerial presence about him. When he talks, I really listen, and I feel like he knows what he's talking about. So I hope Arteta gets back. I'm just hoping that somehow we can win that Europa League this season and get in the Champions League and get backed and sign top players. That's what I really hope. Kartek Josh, he says, thoughts on Bruno Fernandes. I think he's a very good player. The only thing I think is a little bit lightweight. But in terms of talent, he is very, very good. I think probably the best signing of the window in the Premier League. Taib Hussein said, Curtis, who will be the first team to beat Liverpool? I have to admit, I am not confident that Liverpool will lose a game this season, and that seriously worries me. They could beat the 49 unbeaten. They could get the Gold Premier League trophy. They'd get it with more points than us as well. It's worrying. I'm just hoping they drop points somewhere that you don't expect on an off day. But it's not looking good, man. They're not really getting injuries. They're relentless at the moment. Let's have a look. Ras Caleb 2 said, Curtis, trust me, Mari is a Van Dijk. I've seen him in Brazil. Listen, mate, I love your optimism. And I hope you're right, but I don't think any centre-back in world football is on Van Dijk's level. He's actually an incredible centre-back, the best centre-back in the world for me. Giannis Middleton, why are tickets so expensive when Kroenke doesn't invest? It's his profit. This is what it is, Tickets at Arsenal are more expensive, I believe, than any club in Europe. And look, we're out here getting loans. Tells you everything. Omar Mohammed, will we win the FA Cup, Europa League, and prediction for the Premier League, please? Love what you're doing, bro. Big up Omar Mohammed. I think top 6 in the Prem. I don't think we'll get in the top 4. And I'm hoping we can win the Europa League. We've got to go all out for it. We have to. I really hope that we can win it. Taib Hussein says, Curtis, please do longer streams during the summer transfer window. 100%, mate. Because it's more exciting, more will happen. As I say, this channel, Curtis Shaw TV, is new. I started it 6 months ago. It only really picked up in the last 2 or 3 months. I'm still learning myself. I'm just investing in equipment and stuff like that, trying to upgrade the channel slowly. And the streams I only started during this January transfer window. And, in the summer, I'll be doing much longer streams. And by the summer, the channel will be really where it needs to be. As I said, I appreciate all you guys' support. Marco Suso, as a striker, Curtis, would you fear any of our current defenders? I'm going to exclude Pablo Mari because I haven't really seen him play. But no, I wouldn't. I think Socrates can be done when you isolate him. David Luiz switches off at times. Holding's not the quickest. Chambers isn't great in one-on-one situations. So no, particularly at centre-back, I don't really, really rate any of them. Although, as I say, I think David Luiz has been our best centre back this season. I know he's not highly rated, but I do. Um, Nikos Dimitrou, Clown Kroenke spent 5 million to build a stadium for his effing team. As I said, they're getting 5 billion stadiums. We're getting loans. It tells you where his head's at. Janice Middleton, Curtis, you should have strippers in the background of the show. Oh, with that light up the show, yeah, a few strippers in the background. LG92, yo, how much have I missed? I'm sure you can catch up, bro. We're just talking about the window. Was it smart business on a limited budget? Was it good, to get 2 loans in defence, who we can just turn down in the summer if they don't make the grade? But I'm just hoping Pablo Mari. That's the one I'm looking at and thinking 26, 6'3", left-footed centre back, good on the ball. Point to prove that he hasn't been given a chance in Europe. I'm hoping he comes here and does the business. Curtis, Bert Chardet, says, Curtis, who do you think is the better manager, Klopp or Pep? For me, I think Pep gets disrespected because of one average season this year by his standards. People forget he's a pioneer of the game. This is a hard question because, Pep's unrivaled as a coach. I think he's probably... it's a tough one. It's tough because could Pep do what Klopp's doing at Liverpool? I'm not sure he could. And this is the question. You feel like Pep needs a huge checkbook. He hasn't won the Champions League away from Messi. I think Pep's number one because of the trophy cabinet is too big. So I would still say Pep's number one, but I think what Klopp is doing at Liverpool is remarkable, and I think possibly Pep couldn't do what Klopp is doing at Liverpool. Champions League final, then Champions League winners. He's going to win the Premier League. He's breaking all sorts of records. And I actually still think Liverpool could win the Champions League this year as well. So, I think Pep's number one, but I think Klopp he's doing a job that I'm not sure Pep could have done. He's definitely on the verge of taking over him. LG92 says, man management Klopp, tactics Pep. Fair point. Marco Sousa says, I'm going to sleep. Bless Curtis. Enjoy the rest of the stream. Big up, Marco. Appreciate the support. Mr. Fish, I'm pissed off we never signed anyone. Looks like they're not backing Lamps. It's becoming an occurring thing. Mr. Fish, a Chelsea fan there. Yeah, I'm really surprised Chelsea didn't buy a striker today. I thought, Dries Mertens or someone was going to join Chelsea. Maybe Cavani. They had an embargo in the summer. Lost Hazard. I'm sure they would have had a big budget in this window. I'm really shocked they haven't bought anyone. That could be the difference between Chelsea getting top 4 and not. Kartik Joshi says, Klopp is a passion merchant. Well, that's harsh. I think he's better than that, man. I don't think passion merchants win Champions League and then dominate the Premier League. Tuan and Goyen, Curtis, who in the Arsenal squad will be on your keep list? Absolutely keep going forward. Please give me your top 5. The top 5 in Arsenal who I'd keep, just coming to mind straight away, I would say Leno. I think he's a good keeper. I would say Tierney because we haven't really seen him. I would say Torreira. I like what he's about, although I think he needs a better midfielder next to him. Oh, do you know what? I've given myself a difficult situation now because I would say Martinelli, and then I would say Aubameyang because I think you have to keep Aubameyang's goals. If I can squeeze another one in, I would say Pepe as well because we need to see more from him. So I'll say 6. You asked for 5, I'll give you 6. Not that I would sell everyone else, but there's a lot who I would get rid of. Janice Middleton, Brexit is official today. Effing hell, gonna ruin the Prem. Hopefully it won't affect the Prem. Alex Hall, let's beat Liverpool in the league and keep our Invincibles title. Ha ha, I would absolutely love that. I think we'd all love that, mate. That would be brilliant. Bert Chardet, people saying Pep only won the Champions League because of Messi. Well, if that's the case, since he left, why have they only won it once with all them signings and money? It's a fair point, but then the question can be flipped and say, why has Pep not won it away from Messi? He's at Bayern Munich, the best team in Germany at that time. He's been at Man City, who spent a fortune. So it's a question you can flip. Oh, big up Door on Tour, man. He said, yes, Curtis, big up Dora on tour, good friend of mine. He's got a brilliant Nottingham Forest channel. His vlogs are brilliant. I watch all of his vlogs for every game. Great entertainment. Anybody who likes vlogs, Dora on tour, great channel. Just gone past 2K, I think. So hopefully his channel keeps growing. He helped me a lot before I got started with this channel. So big up Dora on tour. Karim Gemma said Pepe has done nothing so far. I think that's harsh, man. Pepe is doing all right, man. He needs to do more, but definitely I think it's harsh to say he's done nothing. Dora on tour said, you happy with your new signing? The guy from Southampton, Cedric Suarez, I think as a backup is not bad. You can't. Or if you've got a good right back, you're not necessarily going to buy a top quality right back and have two really good right backs, because you're going to keep one of them unhappy when they're on the bench. Sometimes you have to have a good right back and buy someone who's not as good. But who knows? Cedric Suarez might be better than Bellerin. You don't know. Just because he doesn't look great at Southampton, he might look better in a different environment. As for Pablo Mari, as I said, I've got my fingers crossed we might have unearthed a gem, but maybe not. There are question marks about his lack of pace. So, that may expose him in the Premier League, but you never know. Charlie DH says, who do Arsenal need in the summer and what needs to go? I mean, in terms of what needs to go, there's too many to name. In terms of what we need another centre-back, in my opinion, a dominant centre-back. We need a defensive midfielder, a powerful ball winner. We need a ball player as well. Someone who can dictate the game and keep possession. And I would say we need, a creative attacking midfielder as well, and also a winger for me. So we need at least, for me, 5 players in the summer. It's my opinion, says Bellerin, Luiz, Mari and Saka on Sunday. The thing is, I don't think Mari will start, I'll be honest with you. I think the Brazilian league finished around a month ago. So there's no way he's going to be fit enough to start on Sunday. And Burnley away, man, that ain't the nicest of games to get started. Big up Bavs14, man. Yo, my boy here in the chat. Brilliant Arsenal vlogger as well. Great content on his channel. I'm sure you've seen him on AFTV. And he's got a show on there, What You're Saying with Loomis. Everyone check out Bavs14's channel. Brilliant channel as well. I'm just waiting for him to make me some YouTube banners and stuff, man. I need something from you, Bav, man. Big up Bav in the chat. Alex Hall says, Curtis, given you've played pro football, wouldn't you agree that confidence is a major factor? From watching abroad, it seems Arteta has instilled confidence in the squad. I think he's given the team belief. He sort of come in, the team was flat, confidence was low. Emery was destroying the confidence. Arteta knows this club, and I think Arteta would have said, listen, man, come on. We know you've got more. I'm taking off the pressure. We're going to play. I want you to express yourself. He's coming with that Pep Guardiola style of football, man. Press, get the ball back quick. When you've got the ball, keep it, attack. Look how high our fullbacks are playing. Saka at left back. He looks like a left wing back how he's playing. He's scoring goals. Our left backs scoring goals in the opposition penalty area. So I think Arteta's just taken the pressure off and said, go and express yourself, man. I think he knows what he's saying. Charlie DH, what kind of signings? Sorry, mate. I actually forgot to answer you there. So I would go for people like Upamecano, Nathan Ake, Lewis Dunk, Koulibaly, someone like that at centre-back. In midfield, Thomas Partey for me. I'd also take the boy Samare, who apparently Newcastle had a bid rejected for. I like him. I like Ndidi as well. In terms of creative midfielder, I like Grealish. I like Ziyech. And then wingers, I like Zaha. I can't think of many other wingers, but there's players out there, man. Arsenal could definitely get players, but we need Champions League football, no doubt. Let's have a look. LG92, speaking of Emery, did you see the interview with Emery today where he's blaming the fans for forcing him out? He's an idiot, man. Like you said, the guy, he came here, he failed, he got a big payout. What does he want, man? You didn't give us no style of football in 2 years. He can't really he spent over 100 million in the summer. I've got no sympathy for Emery, man. I'm sorry. Bob Marley 420, he said, Grealish is next level, so is Ziyech. Both brilliant players, man. Um, for some reason, I would just love to get Grealish here. I love the pit bull, like the fight he's got in him as well. He can mix it. You know, he's strong. He's a brilliant dribbler. He's scoring goals. The adjustment period won't take as long. There's something about Grealish. I really want Arsenal to sign him. Charlie DH, do you think Arteta has made good signings? I think they're shrewd signings, they're smart signings, man. If you've got minimal money to spend, you have to use it wisely. And I think to get two players in on loan who you can wash your hands of them in the summer, if both of them flop, you send them both back to their club and you say, that's it, I don't want them. If Mari, we unearth a gem, you sign him. I think they want 7 million to take him on a permanent in the summer. He's 26 years of age. He's left-footed. He's 6'3". Why not, man? And Cedric Suarez, look, man, don't underestimate this guy. I'm telling you, he might surprise us and get ahead of Bellerin. You know, because as good as Bellerin has played at times, I'm still not totally convinced with Bellerin at times. Not a great crosser of the ball. Defensively, he's okay. He's more of an athlete. So, you know, you never know. You never know. Big up Zayn Miasi with the super chat. He says, we should have got Danny Rose. Danny Rose is a decent player, but, I mean, number one, Danny Rose will want first team football. And I think when Tierney comes back from injury, that Arsenal will play Tierney as number one. I don't really rate Kolasinac. But Tottenham wouldn't have sold Danny Rose to Arsenal. You know, there's no way Mourinho would have done us a favour. So I get that. Lee Deaton said, Curtis, everyone's saying Ozil is class. He's so wrong. We pay him 350 grand a week to be awesome at Fortnite. We must get rid of him in the summer. And the question I always ask, Lee, as much as I agree with what you're saying, who is going to take Mesut Ozil on 350 grand a week? The only way you could get rid of Ozil is loaning him out, because teams would take Mesut Ozil on loan. And Arsenal pay maybe 50-60% of his wages, because no one's going to pay him 350. Someone might pay him 150, 175. We're going to have to pay the rest. And I don't see Arsenal doing that. Bad Boy says, hi, fella. Respect. Appreciate your comments, mate. Bob Marley 420 said, Ozil is a luxury player. D Solo 2009, Grealish could be our Ramsey replacement in terms of goals. Totally agree with that. Ramsey is somebody we have not replaced. Making them third man runs beyond the striker, scoring goals. The amount of times Ramsey went beyond Aubameyang and created space for him, you don't see that. Because our midfielders, Torreira, Xhaka, Ozil, they don't attack. They don't shoot. Christopher Noble, do you think the board should have gambled and gone for Arteta straight after Wenger rather than Unai? I feel that having Emery has taken us backwards. Do you agree? It's hard because Arteta was, when he got the job, was sort of saying that wasn't the right time for him. So maybe mentally he wasn't prepared for the job. And I think they saw Emery as a safe option. Also, the fact that he was a specialist in winning the Europa League. I think they felt he would win the Europa League. Dylan One says, hey Curtis, big fan, respect. Glad to be on the live. Respect, man, appreciate that. Wolfgang said Declan Rice or Wilfred Ndidi. That is easy for me, mate. Wilfred Ndidi. Honestly, I don't see the hype around Declan Rice. Simon Sorensen, I go for a 2-0 victory to Arsenal against Burnley. Our record against Burnley is pretty good, and they have just beaten United, but the United team is really poor. The fact they are fifth says everything. Burnley away is always a tough game. I mean, we beat them at the end of last season, but how much were they really up for that? It'll be a tough game. I'm backing the boys, man. I'm saying 2-1 win. Ben said, evening, Curtis. Who would you keep and who would you sell in the summer? Yeah, as I've said, I would sell Kolasinac, Mustafi, Socrates, Xhaka, Ozil, Mkhitaryan, El Neni. Have I missed anyone? I think that's everyone. I'd keep the rest. I'd keep Leno, Tierney, David Luiz as backup for another year. Bellerin, Mari and Cedric Suarez. I won't say them yet. Ceballos I wouldn't sign as well. Torreira I would keep. I would keep Martinelli, keep Pepe, keep Aubameyang. Lacazette, I'm 50-50. It depends how he finishes the season. But we're not going to be able to sell all of them guys. Lee Deaton says, Declan Rice reminds me of Xhaka. Slow and average, I agree. Don't rate him. I think he's bang average. Simon Bradshaw, would you keep Aubameyang for one more year or release for free? If Aubameyang don't extend in the summer, you've got to sell him. There's no way we can let him run down his contract. Nikos Dimitru, letting Ramsey go to Juve was Emery's choice. He made a mistake there. Ramsey's goal record from midfield and then runs was vital. Big up Zane Miasi with the super chat. Don't you think United are going overboard with Bruno Fernandes? Goldbridge worships him. I think they need more than Bruno Fernandes to turn around their team, but he is a very good player. It'll be interesting how he deals with the Premier League and the physicality of it. Dora on tour, big up said Arsenal need a good centre back like Upamecano and Lascelles. It's interesting that you mentioned Lascelles there because I actually think he's a decent centre back, and I know ex-Nottingham Forest, obviously, Dora on tour, Arsenal YouTuber will have seen him close up. Is he Newcastle captain, I believe. Lascelles, I've been impressed with him a few times. Lascelles, mid-20s, English, decent player. Even Fabian Shaw's not a bad player up at Newcastle as well. Dylan One says, come on people, let's drive the likes up. Big up Dylan, man, I appreciate that. Everyone keep liking the video. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already as well, man. We're on the road to 10k by the end of this season. Giannis Middleton said Tyrone Mings. He's decent, you know. It depends how much he costs. I think he's good. If you could get him for 25-30 mil, but I think he would cost more than that actually because they paid 25 mil for him, so he's going to cost 40 odd mil. I do like Mings, to be honest. He switches off at times, but he is decent. He's powerful as well. Taib Hussein says Emery didn't suit the Premier League. Not at all, mate. Mr. Fish, what does Tierney bring to the team that Kolasinac doesn't? To be honest, I haven't seen enough of Tierney to know how good he is defensively. I think he definitely crosses the ball better than Kolasinac. Christopher Noble says Connor Cody. Decent, wouldn't be at the top of my list though, to be honest, but he's not bad. Bert Chardet said, Curtis, give me your prediction. The battle of the bold frauds, Pep versus Zidane. Who will get through in the Champions League, City or Madrid? I think City will beat Madrid. Honestly, I don't think Madrid are all that. But you never know. Maybe Hazard will turn up the heat on them. R1967 said, Celtic fan, Tierney is great both ways, just give him time. The thing is, without being disrespectful, in the Scottish Prem, playing for Celtic, who are obviously the top team, is he playing against the quality of wingers that he's going to play in the Premier League? Your Salahs and people like that, Bernardo Silvas who play on the right wing against him on the left. So it'll be interesting. Time will tell how good Tierney is. From what I've seen, definitely crosses the ball better than Kolasinac, because Kolasinac end product is frustrating. D Solo 2009, I think Tierney will come good, but he has a while to go, work needed. Taib Hussein says, Chris Samba or Mamadou Sakho. Oh, wow. I'll go for... Samba was a beast at Blackburn, you know. I'll go for Samba. Ben says, Cedric is a waste of money. He's trash and injury prone, which sums up Arsenal in the last 10 years. I mean, he's on a free, bro. It's a loan. Oh, a 900 grand loan. Give him a chance, man. We can't write people off before we've seen them. I know people aren't enthused that we signed cheap players, really, but give him a chance. R1967 says, Andy Robertson played in the Scottish Prem. Yeah, that's true, and so did Van Dijk. So, yeah. Giannis Middleton, Samba had 97 strength on FIFA. He was a beast. I remember we was linked with him when he was at Blackburn. Abdi said, do you think we are going to sell Maitland-Niles? For me, I don't think Maitland-Niles' long-term future is at Arsenal, because I think now we've got two right-backs. I don't see Maitland-Niles making it in the middle of the park. He's too laid back, in my opinion. I think he should have taken the advantage of playing at right-back. He could have established himself as Arsenal's right-back in this last year with Bellerin being injured. But he's kind of moaned about it in the press, and I don't think he grabbed the opportunity with both hands. Who's had a better season for you, Pepe or Saka? I've got to go with Saka, man. 18 years old, I think he's been brilliant, especially since Arteta's come in. I think Pepe has been half decent, but he's got to do more for me. Andrew Allen says Victor Wanyama used to be a beast. Would you take him on a free? Nah, I think we can get better than him, and he's ex-Tottenham as well. I don't mind taking an incredible player off them, but not Wanyama. Janice Milton said, I don't think Bellerin looks comfortable on the ball. Yeah, he's more of an athlete. He's not a great ball player. Lee Deaton says, good night, Curtis. Keep up the great work. Respect, Lee. Appreciate your comments, mate. Nikos Dimitru said, Saka is ice cold. I think he's got a big, big future. You can just see his mentality, he knows how to play the game, and he does it. He plays with a maturity that you only get with certain players, and Martinelli's the same as well. Jim Barkema said, do you think Pepe will come better at Arsenal? I think he will. I think we'll see a good player in Pepe. Charlie DH says Nelson or Pepe. Come on, bro. Pepe's a lot better than Nelson. Donny Miller, Curtis, Tierney has played Champions League football the last 4 years. We haven't had a sniff of Champions League. Tierney will be a fantastic left back given time. I hope you're right, mate. I really hope you're right. Would you sign Leandro Trossard? Said Junior Gunnar De Niro. Honestly, I haven't seen enough of the guy, mate, so I don't know. Andrew Allen said the player we probably tried to sign at the end was probably Emre Can. Yeah, we were being linked with him. Emre Can, he's gone on loan to Dortmund with an obligation, I think, or an option to buy for 26 million. I think that's a good deal, man. I think Emre Can's a decent centre mid. Haaland or Martinelli, says Brian Amorim. I'm going for my boy Martinelli, man. Forget Haaland, man. Martinelli will be a Brazilian international in no time. Bob Marley 420. Curtis, do you think we should start Saliba next season? 100%, bro. Christopher Noble, who would you play in your front three this Sunday? Martinelli left, Aubameyang through the middle, Pepe on the right, no question. R1967, if you do lose Aubameyang, you should look at Moussa Dembele from Lyon. Well, if you're, I'm assuming you're a Celtic fan or you watch a lot of Celtic. Obviously, Moussa Dembele did very well at Celtic, and he's done well in the French league. I think he actually scored against Arsenal in the Emirates Cup a year or so ago, and he looked decent. He did look decent. Abdi said, would you sign Carlos Vela? Not sure. Where would you play him? I know he's done big things in the MLS. Nikos Dimitru, I think Nelson is overrated. I agree, and I just don't think he's that good at the moment. Maybe he needs a loan. Simon Sorensen, if we lose Aubameyang, I would go for Jimenez from Wolves. Not for me. I think that's too much of a downgrade on Aubameyang. Lomax 39, do you think we need to send Pepe on loan? Come on, bro. We ain't sending a £72 million player on loan. Pepe will come good, man. I'm backing him. The Saint says, hey, Curtis, big up. Chim says, I don't have confidence in Pepe. He's just a lazy player. Ooh, harsh. Sometimes he does need to work harder. Janice Middleton says Werner for Aubameyang. If Aubameyang goes, Timo Werner is definitely someone I would look at. Let's have a look. Tian and Goyen, will you consider moving Ozil back next to Torreira, playing as a deep line playmaker? Not a chance. Six Talk Lick Talk says LOL on Pepe on loan. Come on, man, innit? We're never going to loan him out, bro. We got to stick by him. He's a good player. John B says, stop with this Upamecano. Kanate is the guy. Is Kanate better than Upamecano? Good question. Some people have said that. D Solo 2009, Pepe's quality, trust me, he's constantly being 2-1. Yeah, he needs to play higher up the pitch. We need to get him in one-on-one situations. Christopher Noble says, wow, no Lacko. I would have Pepe on the bench as Lacko would bully the Burnley centre-backs. I respect your views, though. So how do you fit Martinelli, Lacazette and Aubameyang in? Do you play Martinelli on the right? Or, how do you do that? Don't get the hate for Pepe, to be honest, says LG92. Aja 14, don't want to overhype him, but Saliba looks serious. Need a proper structure around him. That's a great point, because you can't expect a teenage centre-back to come in and fix a dysfunctional defence. It needs to be solid for him to slot straight into the defence. Chim said, I like Ozil, but it's about time he left. I agree. Abraham Clemi said, I personally want for Arsenal to sign up a Meccano Ziyech to replace Ozil. I would take that. Wolfgang said, can Ainsley Maitland-Niles provide goals and assists from midfield? Time will tell. I'm not sure he'll even get regular game time in midfield. Janice Middleton, what do you think of Belotti? Decent hold-up player and that, but I don't think he scores 20-odd goals, does he? Forgive me if I'm wrong, I'm sure he doesn't. D Solo 2009, channel is lit Curtis, 100% interactive, loving their live streams. Big up D Solo, got to make it interactive, man. It's all about the people. Alan L said, I hope we can get Ziyech in the next transfer window. Perfect replacement for Ozil. Yeah, a lot of people talking about Ziyech. He would be a great signing. Anthony Robinson, breaking news. Jonathan Walters signs for Arsenal alone. It wouldn't surprise you, would it? Jonathan Walters was a player I really didn't like, man, when he was at Stoke. He always scored against us. Scruffy goals as well. Mohamed Nadi said, Gareth Bale is benched in Real Madrid, even with them huge wages in the history. Them big clubs are ruthless. So yeah, I mean, sometimes you got to do that. Look at the way United got rid of Sanchez, although they could have probably done with him now. Excuse me, if it doesn't work out, sometimes you just got to move them on, and that's what I believe we need to do with Mesut Ozil, even if we have to loan him out. The Saint says, cannot wait for Tierney to get back. He's a great player. I hope you're right. I've seen glimpses of his quality. I just want to see it more. Armanedo Kelvin said, I'm happy we got some deals done and hopefully everything will work out well for us. Nikos Dimitri, do you rate Zakaria? Honestly, I haven't seen enough of him. I actually signed him on Football Manager a few times. Let's have a look. LG92, was you originally from Nottinghamshire then, Curtis? Can't believe you played for Forest and Mansfield. Wish I could have watched you at the City Ground. I only at Forest as a younger player. Mansfield as a professional. Yeah, I was around, mate. Been all over the country playing for him. Janice Middleton said Carrasco back in Atletico. Interesting. I honestly thought Arsenal were going to sign him. Seamus Kears said, Curtis, you rock. Keep up the good work. Respect, bro. Oh yeah, I've been working in this transfer window, man. I'm telling you, I've been grinding. Alex Hall says, Curtis, you'll have 50k subscribers by this time next year, brother. Best fan channel out. Used to follow Lee Gunner, but his ego is out of control now. I don't know, man. I don't watch his channel. A lot of people mention Lee Gunner to me. I don't really know, man. But I appreciate your comments, Alex Hall, mate. John B said, Arsenal fans saying, don't play Aubameyang. The money because of wage. Yeah, Aguero is better than Aubameyang, but he's the same age and getting a new deal. Tie down your best players. Respect, Curtis. For me, we've got to keep Aubameyang all day. Yeah, as you said, John B, sorry, you meant pay your best players. Yeah, Aubameyang is our best player. Extend his contract, man. If he's on 200-300 grand a week, give it him. I'd give him maybe 2 years. He's 30, 31 this year. Keep him till he's about 33. Custard Berry Tart, big up for the super chat, says Lautaro Martinez for Aubameyang. He's having a good season at Inter Milan. Struck up a good partnership with Lukaku. Apparently Barcelona were looking at him as well. Donny Miller, without Champions League finance, what can we realistically expect from the board in the summer? Me personally, if we don't win the Champions League, we're not even in the Champions League, win the Europa League, I would expect Arsenal to spend like 60, 70 million in the summer. I don't think it'll be a big window. John B says, sign Alexis on loan. Wow, I don't see him ever playing for Arsenal again. D Solo said, a centre mid and a forward player along with Saliba will turn these draws into more wins next season. Yeah, we need a couple of players. I think we're going to need 4 or 5 players in the summer. Bab said, even though Saka has been outstanding, are we stunting his development by potentially burning him out while he's still so young? Remember, we'll be playing full internationals soon. No, I think Saka can play a lot. When you're that age, man, you can play. Just keep playing, man. Just keep playing. D Solo 2009, not going to lie, it's true about Lee Gunner. YouTube has gone to his head a bit. Like I said, I don't know. I don't watch his channel, but, I heard his channel's grown though, so can't knock him in that sense. LG92 says, LOL Alexis, he's ripping it up in Serie A. Is Alexis doing that well at Inter? I thought he was injured. Let's have a look. Nikos Dimitri said, it's unbelievable that we haven't won the Champions League. It's unbelievable that Chelsea came and just overtook us as the first London club to win it. Considering we had, 20 years in the Champions League? Only one final, and that Champions League final was devastating, man. What's your grade for the window? Says Abdi. I'll give it a 6 out of 10. It was average, but if Murray surprises us and he's a rock solid centre back and dominant in the air, then it's got room to be better. D Solo says, where do you think Arteta can take us, Curtis? Hopefully to Europa League winners and back in the Champions League, and then with better players we can build, get back in the top four next year. For me, that's the short term aim. Adja14 said the board literally have us worrying about money. It's like our own. 2 super cheap loans, and we are worrying we don't have any money left for the next window. It's just unbelievable, man, the way the board are running this club. It's out of order. Ben said, Curtis, I think getting rid of the deadwood is more important than bringing players in. Well, you need to shift them to create wages and space to bringing in the big players. And it's hard to shift the deadwood, man. You know, the likes of Mkhitaryan, El Neni, Ozil, Mustafi, Xhaka. People aren't breaking the door down to sign them. Curtis, you look tired, bro. Make sure you rest well. It's nearly midnight. Yeah, man, I just thought, let's get to midnight. What we got left? 11 minutes. Let's finish January, finish the transfer window. So I'm going to go for 10 more minutes. Get to midnight, start of February, finish the window properly. Mizzy Miz said, if Aubameyang came to Arsenal at 25, it would have more goals than Henry. Possibly, because if he'd have stayed at the club 5, 6, 7 years, he might get close. Also, you got to bear in mind, Thierry Henry started as a winger at Arsenal, so his first season was slow, and then he started lighting up the plays as a striker. So Aubameyang had that advantage of coming as a striker and banging goals in straight away. But Sade said, Curtis, you've seen Lampard nearly crying because Chelsea haven't backed him. Fuming, he was on Sky earlier. I saw a bit of his interview. He didn't look happy, to be honest. He obviously tried to get a replacement. He was then going to let Giroud go. And Chelsea haven't backed him and got the striker, so I'm sure he's disappointed. First transfer window. Tuan and Goyen said, big up Curtis, send a like if you agree. The Saint says, Ake, good player. I agree, very good player. Janice Middleton said, Overmars, what a special player. Love to have someone like that. Overmars was brilliant, man. Amanado Kelvin said, the owner of this club is the big problem we're having right now, and they're just holding the money back. They've got to spend money, man. But like I said, they're taking money out of the club and putting it into other projects. Simon Sorensen, if we get some consistency, do you think we maybe have a little chance for top 4 at all? We could easily get 9 points in the next 3 games, while Chelsea have Leicester, Man United and Wolves upcoming. It's going to be very hard. We've been so inconsistent this season, but you never know. But I'm not holding my breath that we'll get top 4. Christopher Noble said, do you think Arsenal will have a better chance qualifying for the Champions League by not finishing in the Europa League places this season? Leicester started this season strong and looked good for top 4. Possibly. I think the Thursday-Sunday thing does affect your season later on down the line. The only thing is, earlier in the season, a lot of your top players don't really play in the Europa League. But I get your point. But yeah, I think we need to win the Europa League this year and get out of that competition. Ikem Aginam said, get Ndidi or Decore. It shouldn't be hard to go to Watford and Leicester and buy their players. Leicester, it is difficult because they are a decent team now. And obviously you saw Maguire cost 80 million. Tuan and Goyen said, Curtis, your intro could be your goal you scored for AFTVFC. That will be lit. Yeah, do you know what? I've actually got a meeting with someone this week about getting an intro, a logo, a YouTube banner. If any of you guys are designers out there, man, and you're good at things like this, let me know, man. I need to give the channel an upgrade and just refresh it a little bit. But I appreciate that. I was thinking about something like that, actually, as an intro. Junior Gunnar De Niro, do you think Murray will start against Burnley? No, I don't even know if he'll be on the bench. He's not fit, apparently. I think the Brazilian season finished a little while back, so he's just about to begin like a pre-season. Janice Middleton said, strippers in the background. I mean, I don't know what kind of impression that will send for the channel. Alvar said, do you think the board would back Arteta? if we won the Europa League, because if not, we would be trashing the Champions League. I think they would have to back him a little bit if we got in the Champions League. But let's hope we've got that problem by being in the Champions League. Janice Middleton, just messing, love the show, mate. No problem, man. It's all banter, it's all love. Bert Charday said the worst decision Arsenal have done in 10 years was giving Ozil that ridiculous contract. No chance of selling and can't bring in a replacement or any competition because of financial fair play. We're stuck because of that deal. We can't move him on. Bab said we are all talking about the owners and how we want them out. Any suggestions on how, as fans, we go about doing this? I think you have to protest outside the ground. All come together, banners, protests. Sometimes leave your seat empty. Let them know you're not accepting it. I've seen, I think it was Dortmund threw tennis balls on the pitch during a game and got it abandoned. There are things you can do, man, if you work together. But as we know, Arsenal fan base doesn't always necessarily work together, and that's the problem. Let's have a look. John B said, Lingard, 2 goals, 1 assist this season, gets embarrassed by fans. Ozil, no goals, 1 assist. Say no more, John. Say no more. I think that describes everything. Custard Berry Tart says, was watching highlights of Kano earlier. What a player he was. Oh, so skillful. Did everything at like a walking pace where he was brilliant. Janice Middleton said, I've stopped buying kits and merch since Alexis got sold. Don't blame him. That was a bad day when we lost him. And the fact we swapped him for Mkhitaryan, who really flopped at Arsenal as well. Mohamed Nadi said, big club have moved number 10 like Real Madrid. Since they moved Ozil, they changed to 3 in midfield. Big clubs have moved number 10s. Oh, I get you. So what you're saying is the big clubs are not playing with number 10s anymore. It's now 3 in midfield. Simon Bradshaw said, do you blame Arsenal fans for Emery's sacking, or do you blame his stupid team selections against Palace before the end of last season? I blame him. As you said, Simon, spot on. The Crystal Palace game last year was pivotal. We turned up, winning that game. I believe we would have won 1 or 2 more games. We'd have got top 4, would be in the Champions League. But he turned up and thought that Crystal Palace were a joke and played El Neni and Jenkinson and got ripped apart. So, he has to blame himself. R1967 says, blame the players. Partly to blame, definitely, but the manager has a lot to do with it. Bert Charday said, Sky Sports reporting DTFC in for AFTV striker Curtis Shaw on a 6-month loan with obligation to buy. Don Robbie said to be sending a Rolls Royce to pick up Curtis for a medical and personal terms close. Listen, don't worry, man. I'm signing a new deal with AFTV FC. We're in negotiations with me and Robbie for a new contract. I need better terms though, Robbie, man. But I can categorically deny I will not be joining DTFC. Big up for the comment. D Solo 2009. I've still got my old Ian Wright shirt. Salute. Big up, man. I've still got my old, like the maroon shirt when it was the centenary year. I think that was our last year at the Emirates. When Henri scored and I think scored the penalty and he kissed the Highbury turf. Fatima Yezamin said, do you think Liverpool will be undefeated? Unfortunately, I do. I think Liverpool will go unbeaten. Donny Miller said, now that the window is over, I've changed my tune and I'm happy we have brought in defenders and left the attackers for once. Let's hope it has been a good window, Donny Miller. Big up Zayn Miasi with the super chat. He said, did you see Gazidis found a horse head in his bed again, just like in The Godfather? Zayn, I'm sure you're on the wind-up again, mate. Oh, dear. Gazidis, it wouldn't surprise me, though, He partly ruined Arsenal and, AC Milan are not doing great since he went there. Emery was pragmatic, yet we lack defensive solidarity, says Janice Middleton. Alvar said, Curtis Shaw TV, ask Robbie for 350k a week. Listen, I'll do more than Ozil, that's for sure. Only joking. Well, I would like to think I would do more than no assist. 1 assist and no goals. Miyawa Mohammed said, why you hate Ozil, man? Listen, I don't hate any Arsenal player. I expect more from Ozil. You know, he's been a World Cup winner. He's played for Real Madrid. Can you tell me that Ozil is doing enough? You know, 1 assist and no goals. That's not enough, mate. 350k a week, the highest paid player in Arsenal history. It's not enough. Come on, let's be real. LG92 said DT will be coming for you now, Curtis. He definitely wanted you in that side. Yeah, he did, man. But you know, I'm prepared to stay with AFTVFC. We're on the rebuild, man. We'll be back next season. Wolfgang said, "Why aren't we creating more shots chances during the game?" It's interesting. We've been very defensive minded this season. I think it's a process for Arteta to turn us around. Wolfgang, and as you've said, I hope that things will turn around. Nikos Dimitri says DT can easily lead the Kroenke revolution. As I said, at the end of the season, people with influence, mate, Arsenal fans and that need to be talking and pushing this guy out. Janice Middleton said, Curtis speaks sense. I love Ozil, but he ain't doing the business. But the problem is we won't spend money on an adequate replacement. R1967 said, Curtis, do a Sol Campbell and sign for DT. Nah, man, I ain't doing it, man. Fatima Yasmin said, favourites for Europa League and UEFA Champions League. For me, Champions League favourites are Liverpool, honestly. And Europa League favourites are probably, I'm going to say Inter Milan. I think they'll be hard to beat, but hopefully Arsenal can win it. It's midnight. The transfer window is closed. It's February the 1st. I'm tired now. It's been a long transfer window, lots of videos, lots of work rate. I mean, this stream was an hour and 16. Big up everyone for your support during this transfer window. Appreciate all the comments in the live chat. Big up everyone watching it after, commenting down below. As I said before, was it smart business or cheap business from Arsenal? Time will tell. Thanks everyone for watching. Thanks for your support. Keep subscribing to the channel. Big up everyone in the super chats. Thanks everyone for your great comments. It's been an eventful transfer window. I'm shattered now, by the way. But appreciate all your guys' interaction. It's been great. I'll be doing lots more content anyway with the window closing. Obviously, Arsenal play Burnley on Sunday. I'll be doing the live stream on AFTV, so look out for that. I might even start doing live streams on this channel as well. Let me know if that's something you'd like to see. Thanks everyone for all your support during this transfer window. We keep moving during the season, and take care everyone. Have a great weekend. Bless.